Hey, as I normally do, I have a question for you. How many of you are struggling staying present during the holiday season? I recognize you might be getting this podcast after the holidays are over, but how many of you, if you reflect on how present am I, how connected do I feel to those around me and to myself this season? Let's talk about that a little bit today. Welcome to Beyond the Facade podcast. I'm your host, Luke Gordon, and I'm thrilled to have you join me in this space today. What we're going to be doing is diving deep into the trials and triumphs and truths of seeking authenticity. Becoming your true self isn't about a single action or a moment. It's a relentless pursuit, a commitment to self that reveals the rich connection and meaning that our life has to offer. So whether this is your first time tuning in or you're a regular listener, know this: what you're building here goes beyond a conversation. You're here to challenge, to change, and to celebrate the incredible journey of becoming your authentic self. Because when you dare to show up fully, the rewards are immeasurable. So welcome to Beyond the Facade. Let's get started. I've had the gift of being able to attend groups this week and in past weeks of hearing people in the pain of the holiday season. And there's so much good about the holidays I want to acknowledge. I absolutely love the holiday season. I'm a big Christmas guy. Like, I love everything about Christmas, the holidays, the decorations, all that kind of stuff. But I also recognize that it brings its heaviness, triggers just from the sense of the overwhelm. And just want to take a moment and just recognize this word presence. And I'm not talking about the gift giving presence, but there's just ability to be able to be present with self. So in turn, I can be present with other people. And as I work with men, we talk a lot about somatic healing, and they give you a little bit of a definition of what somatic healing is. Somatic healing is a therapeutic approach that connects the body and the mind and addresses emotional trauma or physical trauma. So when you can do that somatic healing, you can connect the mind back with the body, and we get a sense of connection again. So trauma is stored in the body. So with addiction or compulsive behavior, it often stems from some type of little t big T trauma. And I know that can be triggering for people to hear, like, okay, what is this root of my compulsive behavior? And we just want to take a second and realize somatic healing is going to be a part of the process. Being able to have awareness and presence and be able to self regulate, that's the journey. So, what somatic healing is like: body awareness, like being able to focus on my breath, being able to understand how to meditate, different grounding techniques. These things are really important. So, I figured for today's podcast, it's going to be a little bit shorter than normal. We could talk about staying present during the holidays. And before I do that, I'm going to do something I haven't done on a podcast before. I'm going to invite those who are here that aren't driving down the you can technically do this driving down the road as long as you got your eyes open. We're going to do a grounding exercise. We're going to do a little bit of a meditation. So if you wouldn't mind, let's do this together. All right. So let's take a moment here, and I'm going to begin by telling you that it's important for us to be able to step out of the fast-paced rhythm of life and give ourselves permission to slow down. So life can be full of demands and distractions, and sometimes we forget how important it is to just like pause and breathe and reconnect with ourselves. Hence why we're here. So I'm going to give you a guided meditation, and it's an opportunity for you to ground yourself and to be present inside your body and your breath and to let go of the noise for just a few moments here. Okay. So if you've done this a lot, you'll probably get a lot of comfort from it. If you've never done a guided meditation before, then it might be a little awkward. So just let it be what it is. Begin by finding yourself a comfortable position. Maybe you're sitting in a chair and with your feet on the floor and your back supported. And let's put your hands resting gently on your lap or knees. So when you're ready, go ahead and take 3 deep breaths. So just breathe in through your nose, letting the air fill your lungs, and then exhale through your mouth. So as you breathe in, imagine, and you are, taking some deep breaths and have it be that fresh, rejuvenating air. Fill your lungs with each inhale. So as you breathe out, notice how the muscles in your body soften and relax. So let go of any tension that you're holding. And with that third exhale, so gently allow your eyes to close. Again, just close your eyes if you're in a safe environment, you can do. If not, just find a spot that you can focus on gently and just a soft gaze and just look there. So take a moment to feel the weight of your body pressing down into the chair on the floor and notice the connection between your body and that surface beneath you. So pause for a moment and bring your attention to your breath. Notice the natural rhythm of your breathing. So the movement of the breath in and out of your body, in and out of your lungs. So pay attention to where you feel the breath most clearly. So is it in your chest, where you feel like a gentle rise and fall? You notice your chest expand and then fall. Maybe notice this in your stomach and your diaphragm as you expand and contract with each breath. Or maybe you notice it's in your shoulders or in another area of your body. Where do you notice the breathing? There's no right or wrong place to notice your breath. Just observe it when it feels natural to you. So just again, begin to notice the rhythm of your breath. Is it fast or is it slow? Is it deep or is it shallow? You don't need to change it. Just let it be. Follow its natural flow. And be kind to yourself. If you notice your mind's wandering, if you're having a hard time being focused, it's completely normal. So gently guide your attention back to the sensation of your breath. It's rising and it's falling. And as you do get distracted, notice that's a normal part of meditation, that we don't need to be rushed to chastise ourselves because we're not meditating correctly. Just bring your attention back to the breath. Maybe if you find it particularly hard to get to a place of being able to meditate, you can start to count your breaths one at a time as you breathe in and out. When you're ready, go ahead and take 2 final deep breaths. Slowly bring your awareness back to your body and the space around you. And gently open your eyes and return to the room. And take a moment to reflect on this meditation we've done together. And I want to just speak to those who are in the journey of, as you completed this meditation, the meditation is such an important part of the healing journey. My own journey with acting out behavior was I often found myself solving my problems that weren't sexual at all, sexually. Masturbation, pornography, acting out with other people, lust. It was all just a way to cope with the hard. It was all a way to deal with the fast-paced environment, the feelings of worthlessness, the am I enough, the self-esteem struggles, just so many things. And so much of it didn't have anything to do with sexuality, my sexual needs, but I tied all of it in. And I just noticed that when we've talked about this many times, but specifically in the phase 1 content of the Choose Recovery Services men's programs, that we start to gain the tools of recovery. And the first stuff that we talk about is the dailies. What do we do on a daily basis to keep ourselves sober emotionally? And we talk about oxytocin, dopamine, and serotonin. And oxytocin, that desire for connection, was a lot of my sexually acting out behavior. I was searching so much for a desire to feel connection. So just with the rest of our time together today during this podcast, I want to talk about staying present. Staying present, specifically during the holidays, because it's really fast paced, is why do we stay present during the holidays? What's the why? When I could think of okay, being present is I want to focus on my relationships. I'd like to reduce the stress. I'd like to create more meaningful memories and have it not just be about maybe rituals, as in not rituals, traditions, just tradition to do traditions around Christmas. but acknowledge like some of the challenges that stay difficult during this time of year. So distractions, unresolved emotions, family dynamics, financial stress, so much, right? We will see an influx of people in January. This is like when everybody starts to do the new routine. Like, I'm going to try again. And that's wonderful and amazing. But where does that stem from? It stems from going too hard and too fast and forgetting what I actually value. So let's understand what presence is. First of all, let's define presence as being like fully engaged and in the current moment, mind, body, and emotions connected. That's the purpose of the meditation. That's the somatic healing. So let me talk about challenges to presence, maybe just for me. And maybe I can think about some of the ones that I've heard you guys talk about. Overthinking about past events or future worries, like distractions during the holidays, phones, TV, work, those things to help us avoid discomfort, emotional triggers that are tied to family or holidays expectations. So, what tends to pull you out of the moment during the holidays? What tends to get you out of your routine? I could think of one that tends to get me out of is this usually I get sick during the holidays. I don't know, it's like a petri dish of a house at our house. I get sick and that'll throw me out of it. But there are some practical tools to stay present during the holidays that I wanted to review with you. First of all, we just did one, mindful breathing. So here's some exercises for you to take into account. There's a simple breathing exercise that I can give you, which is basically inhale for 4 counts, hold for 4 counts, exhale for 4 counts. So do that for 2 to 3 minutes. So if you take your phone, set a reminder 3 times during the day, maybe a mid-morning, midday, and an early evening breathing exercise. Again, inhale for 4 counts, hold for 4 counts, exhale for 4 counts. Okay. Do that for 2 to 3 minutes. Here's another one that can really help from a grounding technique. Here's another tool for you to stay present. We call it the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 grounding exercise. So you might have done this with me. So here's the one. I recognize that you're going to be driving. And again, I think of those of you who are listening to this after the holiday season, it's okay. This doesn't need to be just a holiday thing. Or if it's after Christmas, it's between New Year's, whatever it might be. Just work in some of this stuff into your process because it's not like holidays the only times that we need this experience. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 is a name 5 things that you see, name 4 things that you can touch, 3 things you can hear, 2 things that you can smell, 1 thing you can taste. So 5 things you can see, 4 things you can touch, 3 things you can hear, 2 things you can smell, 1 thing you can taste. So one at a time. That'll bring you back to the present. Here's a third tool, setting a daily intention. So I love this during the morning, like during a morning routine, during some morning self-care. Set an intention. Today, I'm going to actively listen during conversations. Write down one interaction that you have during the day. The fourth tool is like limiting distractions. So go, all right, here's the deal. I'm going to use screen time on my phone. I'm going to set one where I'm only going to have this much time available for me for phone time. I'm going to plan on taking breaks where I can be quiet and reflect. So limit distractions by noticing what the distractions are. Last one, which I find to be the most cheesy ever until I actually do it. I picture people judging me when I say that. So the fifth tool is that gratitude practice. Share the power of gratitude in bringing awareness to the present. So just taking time to reflect and write, what am I grateful for? And no expectations. It just changes everything for you. Like, it doesn't just go to a place of like, okay, I'm better, everything's fine. But the power of gratitude can bring so much awareness to the present. It can start to change thoughts. Because remember, if you're spinning and things seem heavy, it's all that is the thoughts you're having. So you interject new thoughts, new emotion will come from that. So I just don't want to forget the power of that. I'm just going to invite you to grab some of that stuff, grab some of those ways. Think of ways right now you could stay present, challenge yourself, take a moment to reflect. And then think about what you want to be able to take out from this time in this season when you leave it. So again, I just wanted to create a short podcast for you today to recognize like being present as the holiday season. What are the presents of the holiday season? My gift to myself is to be present with myself so I can in turn be present with other people. So I just want to offer you some words of encouragement for those who it feels really, really heavy for right now. Maybe you're listening to this after the holiday season. Maybe it wasn't what you wanted it to be. Maybe you're at another rock bottom and everything's over. There's money spent. There's fatigue at the end of the season. Just sitting with yourself and knowing that you don't need to be alone in this journey. And we're here to support you and help you. So anyway, want to acknowledge and appreciate you for showing up here. And if you're listening to this podcast, it means you are doing the work. It doesn't mean people need to give you credit for the work, but you can notice that for yourself. Anyway, I appreciate your time and take care of yourself. I want to speak to those who you feel like you're wearing a mask. Maybe that's coming up in your recovery, just more awareness of the mask that you wear. And you're really struggling to show your authentic self. Like if people saw me, they wouldn't be able to accept me. They wouldn't love me. So that vulnerability piece, either there's somebody saying, hey, you're not vulnerable enough, or you're like, I'm struggling with vulnerability, and finding that genuine connection, specifically with people outside of your partner and your partner. If that resonates, I wanted to invite you to our Unmasked intensive in Spanish Fork, Utah. It's a 3-day intensive, and it's hosted by Choose Recovery Services. This experience is designed to help men who are ready to step into self-discovery and transformation. So during the intensive, let you know what you're going to experience. You're going to connect with other men that are at similar places in your journey. You're going to explore the true meaning of what actually is integrity. That this isn't just an honesty thing, it's an integrity thing. And remove the masks that you have on that maybe culture or society has placed on you. And you're going to gain a deeper understanding of how your family of origin impacts your thoughts and your actions today. And you're going to be able to start on the journey of healing some of those inner wounds from the past and how it's affecting your relationships today. So again, Spanish Fork, Utah, it's going to be January 15th through the 17th. Take some steps towards reclaiming that authentic self. And this is a huge investment in self, and we recognize that. So if you want to learn more about it, you can go to chooserecoveryservices.com, but we'll put in the show notes more information. If you have been considering this for a while, go ahead and make the jump. I'm be very excited to meet you and see you in person.
Hi guys, this is Laura with Choose Recovery Services, and I wanted to just let you know about an intensive that we have coming up in Spanish Fork, Utah from January 22nd to the 25th. This is an intensive that Hallie Roderick and I and Alana Gordon will be running together, and it's the Revive and Thrive Intensive. Something that Peter Levine says is that trauma is physical, and because trauma is physical, we need some physical component to that healing for it to move through our bodies. And that's what this intensive is aimed at. We have workshops, we have experiences, we have lots of tools that we'll be sharing on how to move trauma through your body in a physical, somatic way. We hope you can join us, and for more information, there will be a link in the show notes, or you're welcome to visit chooserecoveryservices.com. Hope to see you there.
Hey, thanks for joining us today. If this is something that you connected with, I'd love to meet with you more and talk about it. So what you can do is go to chooserecoveryservices.com or check the show notes. And there what we can do is set up a quick conversation to meet. Thanks so much for listening to Beyond the Facade, where we unmask the authentic self.